What's up guys, it's Elliot here with another flying video. I've been playing with the ZIBO 737 mod for probably a month or two now and getting a little bit more comfortable with it, so I thought I might as well do a full flight all the way from here in lovely San Francisco right down the California coast to Los Angeles. So we're parked here on the ground. It's pretty typical day in San Francisco. I'm digging these old liveries on these aircraft. I think I need to find some new scenery for San Francisco, but should get the job done. We're going to have a good time. I'm going to be trying to follow some checklists. I've got a kind of a concise checklist that I use, and I've also prepared a flight plan, and we'll try and follow that and just see where we go and hopefully make our way down to down to Los Angeles rather. So right now, pretty much cold and dark. Gonna get our battery on. Standby power is on. Our ground power is connected, so I'll turn that on. Get ourselves hooked up to the battery and the ground power. And then we're gonna make sure we get our IRS systems going here. And definitely feel free to leave questions or comments. If you are wondering what I'm doing, I'm still learning, so questions could be helpful to kind of learn more. Alright, exit lights, and I'll go ahead and put our lights on here.
Flight attendants, please prepare the cabin for departure.
And actually, we'll leave that off for now. I'll get our window heat going.
Okay, the cabin is secured. Have a good flight.
Blah, blah, blah. Alright, so IRS is going. Probe heat we'll leave off for now. I'm gonna actually turn those on, which is good. Fuel pumps we'll leave off. Trim air we can turn on. Isolation valve is open. Recirc fans are on auto. Engine bleeds are on. I'll go ahead and put our packs on too, so we get a little bit of air conditioning. So I have, for the first time ever, put my flight plan in the AviTab tablet folder so that we should be able to look at it together. So this is a typical operational flight plan. So SFO to LAX. I am using the current weather, but I've sort of time shifted about 12 hours so that we have some better daylight, which I think will be a good thing to do just to kind of make sure we we're in the right place. But we do want to check what the fuel situation is going to be. So 5.6 tons of fuel. We're pretty heavy today, is how I set up the OFP. So I'm going to put in 5.6, and then I will also, just try and find our payload. So 5.6 and then 21.1. So I've already got 21.1 in there, which is good, and then 5.6. So we're going to need some fuel, so I'll go ahead and call the fuel truck. So we should now see our fuel increasing, which you can see down there, which is great. Alright, so we're loading our fuel, and then I also think our altitude is 330, if I read that right. Let's take a look. Yep, 330. Cool. So we can go ahead and set that in our pressurization. Alright, and then we can also, I know the landing altitude at LAX is basically 0 feet, so let me just go ahead and check that on my handy dandy phone here. That's how I like to check these things. Let's see, for flight. I'm sure this is not the most exciting.
Baron 5 X-ray Sierra.
Well, that's kind of interesting. Gonna go ahead and I guess we're on the tower frequency. On COM 2. There we go. That was kind of cool. Nope, that's That's not going to help because we left it. Let's just flip it to something random. There we go. Alright, yeah, 128 feet rather. So I should actually set our landing altitude to 150. Alright. Alright, then let's go ahead and get the weather. So 133.8 is going to be the best way to do that. Hopefully. Come on. Work. Nope. Alright, let's try the other frequency. 135 point. I think I had this happen earlier too. Here we go. Nothing. Oh, that's because I'm putting in the LAX frequency. What an idiot. Okay, 113.7. Let's try that. 113. Nope. Can I even tune that? I guess not. 115.8. Oh, 118.85. Gosh, sorry about that, guys. It's not giving me high hopes for the success of this flight. There we go.
San Francisco INTL information Golf. 1600 Zulu weather. Wind calm, visibility 10. Sky conditions 500 few, 2500 broken, 15,000 broken, temperature 16, dew point 14. Altimeter 3027. Arriving runways 28 right, 28 left.
All right.
Departing runways 28
Got
right,
everything we need from
28
that.
left.
So we've done our altimeter, got our APU bleed, I think is off. Can turn our left aft fuel pump on, and let's get our APU cooking. Alright, I can start our flight leg here. I'm gonna go ahead and close the door, because I always forget to, just imagine everybody's boarded. Alright. And then we're just waiting for APU to spin up, and it looks like we've got another minute on the IRS. We can look at our departure plans. I did not save a copy of the departure chart, unfortunately, but I have it on my phone here. So it looks like we're doing. So I keep trying to scroll as if it's going to go to the next page. Kind of not used to this. All right, that's not helpful. There we go. Okay. Alright, let's see. So doing the SS tick. I think that's the stick 3 departure out of SFO. So let's go ahead and I'm just going to look up. It's actually now the stick 4 departure, but stick 3 works. Alright, let's see. So our APU is good to go there, so we've done that. Got our APU bleed on. We can change this to APU generator. You can hear that cooking. Alright. So let's go ahead and we'll look at our route in a moment here. Okay, flight directors are on. Auto throttle is off. And let's see. I forgot a very critical step, which is setting up our route. So we'll go ahead and do that. Looks like we're done fueling, so I will also put our seatbelt sign on. Alright, let's get our FMC set up here. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and put in Sierra, Foxtrot, Oscar. And I'm going to go ahead and grab our GPS position. There it is. We're going SFO to Lima Alpha X-ray. We're going to be DAL 123. And departure is, we're going to use 1 right, and we're going to do this sticks 3. And then if we go to our, looks like eBay is our intersection. Let's see if that's a transition. It is. Alright, we go back to the route. So we've got sticks 3 to eBay, then it's direct to Burgle. Bravo uniform. Alright, to Burgle. Then we got the Iron Man 1 arrival. Let's see if we can find that. And I've got runway 24 left currently set up. So we'll set up the ILS 24 left. And we're going to do the Iron Man 1 from Burgle. I won't put in a initial approach fix yet. Leave that out. Cool, so that's our route. Go ahead and execute that. Get our gross weight, so our fuel weight looks good. Let's check what our fuel reserves are. That's on the next page. Did I get it wrong? Is it on the previous? No, it will be here. Let's just zoom out. Moment. Can never find where the fuel reserve info is. Come on. It's weird just looking at it this way. Oh, no, I've buggered it up. Ugh, come on. How do I turn it? Does anybody know? Oh, it's this button. There we go. Alright. Here we go. That's what I was looking for. So it looks like 2.3. Cost index, we'll grab that. Putting cost index of 7. And we know our altitude is 330. We can also throw our cruise wind in if we want to be fancy. So top of climb wind 281.079. 079. And then our deviation is plus 67. Nope, plus 6. It's like 67 degrees. That seems excessive. Alright. Cool. And I'm just gonna... this would be a good question for someone out there who knows more than I do. Do I put in... what fuel do I put in for the fuel number here? If any. Maybe I don't. I feel like I should. I'm gonna go ahead and put in my trip fuel, which is 2. I'll just round it up 2.5 and assume that's good enough. Cool. Alright, so it is 16 degrees outside, I believe. Yeah. So we'll throw that in. I really need to get the tool that lets you calculate your takeoff performance. I'm gonna guess this will be fine. Of course, you wouldn't do that in the real aircraft. Go flaps 5. That's our CG 4.94, which is probably not too far from where it is. Actually, strangely, it's kind of far back. Oh. No, there we go. That's just the way I was looking at it. Alright, that should be good. And we'll get our V speeds. 149 is going to be our V2 speeds. Let's go ahead and put that in. Alright. Good, good, good. Alright, so I think we're ready to execute all that. And we can go to our legs page. So I'm looking at the departure on my phone here, and basically we're going to be climbing on a heading of 014, so I'll go ahead and punch that in. To 520 feet, and at or below 210 knots. And then we're going to do a climbing turn to stick, which you can see there. And then a climbing left turn to port at or below 10,000. So I'll set that as my initial altitude here. And then we're going to do the eBay transition. So there's just a few more points. So it looks like port, and then we're going to Susie, and then eBay. And then, let's see, Burgle, and then this is going to be the arrival, which we can look at a little bit later. I'm not too worried. I don't see any issues with that. I could go and just kind of step through our legs here. So there's our turn that you can see to port, Susie, eBay, going down the coast. And it looks like we're beginning our descent in, and then we'll do a big kind of U-turn around LAX somewhere. Hopefully a little closer. Yeah, you can see it's kind of just braking there. But we'll give ourselves a heading, probably, to get ourselves in. And then down to 24 left. Alright. So I think we are good there. We can put that back on the map page. And I'll put my airport and my terrain on. See, what else have we missed on our checklist? Minimums, that would actually be a good thing. So I will set my radio minimum. Whoops. And I'm going to do field elevation plus 1,000, so it's about 1,040. There we go, 30. Great. Alright, so landing gear is down, thrust levers are closed, engine start levers are looking good. Parking brake is set, yaw damper, we can turn that guy on. And I'm also going to turn on my fuel pumps and my electric, because we're going to be getting that going. So we've got our APU connected, we're using that bus right there, so we can go ahead and disconnect our GPU, which is good. You would not believe the number of times I've done that recently and forgotten that I haven't turned my APU on, which is not good. Alright, so I think our passengers are boarded. I'm gonna go ahead and get my anti-collision light on. Position light can go to steady. Might get someone talking to us in a minute telling us everyone's boarded and that we're ready to go. Maybe not. And this all looks good. You can hear them making an announcement in the back. So auto throttle is armed. And let's... There we go. Figured you would show up. Alright. So let's go ahead and... Got a couple issues here. Let's just gotta get our engine started and all that good stuff. Let's get our pushback organized. Alright, so I think we're gonna be... There's runway 1 left. Runway 1 right is right next to it. So I'm actually gonna just push basically straight back into maybe about there. Looks about right.
Ground to cockpit. Plan acknowledged. Call me through the menu when you are ready.
Alright, I think we're ready for our pushback.
Ground to cockpit. Tow is driving up.
There's our little tow coming out. So yeah, we're going to be heading over to 1 right for our takeoff, which is right about there. And let's just check the wind again.
San Francisco INTL
Calm.
information kilo.
Cool. Calm winds are always nice. So let's just do a quick scan here. Everything looks good. I'll get a bit more light on some of these. Got our window heat on. Fuel dampers on. Fuel pumps are on. Nothing in the center tank, so we don't need that. Oh, one thing I do want to tweak, and really I should do this before. I want my LED landing lights, and I also want my split wingtips because I think they just look pretty cool. There we go.
Okay, all doors and hatches are closed. Ready to connect.
Alright, he's going to connect. Now we could just get our LED landing lights right there. This will be easier to, to operate. Alright, so still got our APU on. That looks good. This is all set up. That's looking good. Got that turned on. And of course I didn't do things like the tests and the fire tests, all that kind of stuff. Just not going to worry about that. Don't think we need our anti-iced day. At least not yet. And then we've got our APU bleed on, and everything else is looking pretty good for engine start, which we can do probably once we've been lifted up. And
Tow connected and bypass pin inserted. Release parking brake.
alright, here we go. There goes our
Starting pushback.
jet bridge.
And you may start engines.
Alright, let's go ahead and turn on our right engine. What did I do wrong? It's always something. Probably also... Oh, gotta turn those packs off. There we go. Either was something. Still getting used to this. Been flying pretty frequently just to try and get used to it. And I'm literally just about at the point where I feel comfortable making a video about it. And still, as you can tell, I'm not... definitely not there. Alright. 25%. And 2. Looks like we've got a good engine start there. Can hear it. Yeah, we'll go ahead and turn our taxi light on too. Alright. And once that flips off, I'll probably start the other one. There we go. That's our right engine. Oops. And there we go. Got some fuel flow, hopefully. Well, once we add our fuel. Got our N2 spinning. Got good oil temperature, all that good stuff. Alright, and 25%. There we go. There goes our fuel. Sweet. Let's get a few more lights going here. Alright, got our main panel brightness, background, flood. Alright, so, got our fuel pumps on, got these guys on. Let's go ahead and, now we're on the outside there. So we can turn our packs back on. Our isolation valve can go auto. Turn our APU bleed off, can turn our APU off. I think that's about everything. Yeah, let's recall that. Don't know why we had a master caution there. Weird. What am I wondering? Should flip that to Gen 1 as well.
Operation complete. Set parking brake.
Alright.
Disconnecting tow. Stand by.
Hmm. Oops. Probe heat. There we go. She gone. I'm hoping and praying I don't have the issue that I've had before where I do something wrong in the setup and then when I goose the engine power, I suddenly have everything cut out. Let's hope for yours and my sake that doesn't happen today. Looking here, I think everything looks good. Looks like we're okay. Cool. So, just waiting for the rest of our
Tow is
pushback.
disconnected and bypass pin has been removed. Hand signal on the right. We'll see you next time and have a safe flight.
Alright, thank you. There goes the little tug. Let's wait for the little man to show up. Go ahead and take our parking brake off. See you later. Where's he gonna be? There he is. He got his bypass pin. Sweet. Alright, so let's go ahead and we're just gonna taxi straight ahead and cross over runway 1 left. Alright. And our taxi procedure, we want to get our flaps set to takeoff, which should be flaps 5. Our taxi lights are on, and our runway turn-off lights I will also turn on. We are moving our way out of SFO. So you can go ahead and do our welcome message in the back. Yeah, we probably would have done that a little earlier in reality. So I think we can go down to this second crossing. I should really have an airport diagram. but as you can probably tell, I do not have that in front of me. So we're going to assume there's nobody approaching. I don't see anyone. Alright, let's go ahead and do our turn here. And it's going to be my rudder pedals here. Actually, we'll just go all the way. We'll go all the way down. My rudder pedal's a little too close to the wall there. I couldn't make the turn. Alright. So let me know in the comments. Do you fly the ZIBO 737 in X-Plane? What do you think of it? I would love to hear your experience. Alright, so it looks like runway 1. See if I can get this right. I think one right is up here. It's a little bit further back, kind of offset from one left, which is the shorter runway. Alright, so we'll go ahead and just pull up here. And have I got that right? I feel like I went too far. This is the approach to one right, but I gotta loop myself back around. Tell I did not plan adequately for this flight. Alright, so we're in the approach area. I can see the runway up here, so we'll just come this way. And looks like we got another plane who wants to take off. So that's cool, I guess. Let me see if I can beat him to it. Or if he's gonna taxi right in front of me, which will probably happen. Well, I've got a few run-up items, so I'm just gonna stop here anyway. So I gotta get our start switches to continuous. We gotta turn our landing lights on. Can turn these guys off. And I will set our transponder to the TARA. Oh, he's gonna take off. That's alright. We can just wait. Auto brake is set to RTO. Can try and turn VNAV LNAV on, although they'll probably turn themselves back off. And I think that should be about all we need to do. Let's go ahead and just taxi up a little bit so we're on the official start of the runway. Alright, once that guy is out of our way, we will get our roll started here. He kind of went off the side there, not sure what that was about. Alright, so we would go to 40%. I've got an issue with my throttle quadrant where I have to put it back to the sort of down position before I can engage my toga, but that's okay. There we go. There goes the toga. Alright, we are rolling. So again, we'll be doing that kind of climbing turn here. Once we hit 520 feet, which I think is going to be rather quick. Hope nobody's on the crossing runways. Probably should have checked that. Some people over there.
V1, rotate.
There's our rotate. Nice smooth climb up.
Positive rate.
Comes our gear. Let's get a 014 heading.
400.
Alright. Can start bringing our first notch of flaps in. Don't want to pitch up too much. This can begin our turn now.
1,000.
To stick. And I'll go ahead and throw on our autopilot. VNAV and LNAV are engaged. And we can just go direct to stick. Probably doesn't make much of a difference, but cool. We are climbing on out of here. So we're above 400 feet. We could also put our gear back to the off position. We can turn off our auto brake. Put our engine start switches to auto. And I always forget to set the timer. Let's go ahead and do that. Alright, crossing stick. Gonna get our big left turn around to the port intersection, and we have a 10,000 foot altitude limit there. Let's take a little look outside. Looking good. All right. Sweet. So there's some terrain in front of us, below us. These are the San Bruno Mountains. I was actually hiking in these mountains last Friday on a work trip. Stopped by before I flew back here to Minneapolis. It's nice. Alright, all our systems look good. Ooh. Hit a little wind gust there. I think the wind updated while we were climbing out there. And put our speed way up. Wonder if our altimeter is still what it was. Let's see.
San Francisco INTL information
3028. Go ahead and update that. Alright, so it looks like we're going to hit our 10,000 foot limit well before the port
1,000 to go.
intersection, but that's alright. See, we've just kind of made a big turn here and into the clouds. And I'm actually going to put our engine anti-ice on because it's a little cold out. Can't remember what the there's a certain temperature you're meant to turn that on at, but I always forget what that is. Yeah, throttling back there. Looks like we're about 7 miles from port. So go ahead and keep ourselves heading in that direction. And I guess in reality, you probably would be given a clearance to climb higher. Let's just imagine we've been given that. So we'll go ahead and set our final altitude, which is going to be 330, and get our altitude intervention. Great. Alright, looks like things are climbing nicely now. We're accelerating now that we're above 10,000 feet. Can show you on the map here where we are. Oh, weather changed again. Got a nice crosswind now. See, we are kind of... Oh, that's way too far zoomed in. Let's zoom out a little bit. So, coming over El Granada, and Half Moon Bay is down there. That's right, I think Half Moon Bay is somewhere around here. I would imagine it's the thing that looks kind of like a moon. Yeah, we're just going to keep ourselves coming south here. Over Santa Cruz, and then I think we'll be working ourselves basically just following the coast down to LA. Leave ourselves on that view so you can kind of see. Alright, so we're above 10,000 feet, so we can go ahead and turn our landing lights off. I'll also pretend I'm a European airline and release the seatbelt sign early. I always find that's true in Europe. They seem to do that much quicker than they do here in the US. Must be fear of lawsuit or something, I don't know. Yeah, let me zoom out a little bit there on the map. And looks like if we go to our progress page, we are going to be just about 45 minutes from LAX. not too bad. So next thing we'll do at 18,000 feet is to go ahead and set our pressure back to the standard setting. And actually, speaking of pressure, looks like this is working. Cabin altitude is staying lower than the outside altitude. So that is good. There's been times I found if you leave the packs off, don't get pressurization, you can get a nasty warning as you climb too high. And obviously people would not be feeling so great if that happened in real life. See our fuel flow here. Oops, didn't mean to reset that. It's unfortunate. It looks like we're about 6 minutes off our departure point there. And we're still going to be climbing for a while. Pretty heavy, but even almost basically fully loaded, still getting a pretty respectable 2,200 feet per minute. Alright, so there is 18,000 feet. We will go ahead and set our pressure to standard. Quite a big difference today with that pressure setting that we had. And the rest is really just a matter of waiting until we're up to altitude. I don't even know. We can't do an announcement till we level off. Not really much we can do but wait. It's coming over the Santa Cruz coast here. See our big ol' huge approach. Or arrival, sorry. So we can have a look outside. Redraw on the clouds there. Alright. So I thought it would be good to do a full flight just so you could kind of see all the different stages. What I probably will do is when we get to our cruise top of climb is go ahead and cut the video just so you guys can not have to watch me sit here for 20-30 minutes rambling about nothing, because that probably is not something that anyone really wants to do. So when we get up to 33,000 feet I will rejoin the broadcast. What I could do while we're climbing up is get some of our arrival info set up. I always like to do that sooner rather than later. And if I look at LAX, go ahead and just looking up on my ForeFlight app on my phone. So we can go ahead and set our arrival ATIS, which is going to be 130
San Francisco INTL information
3.8.
1600 Zulu weather.
Yeah, there we go. And then we are doing the... already forgotten what arrival we're doing. Ironman 1. So let's go ahead and look up that. Under arrivals. And I will try and put these in for future videos in the like copies of the charts, so you guys can see them, because it's kind of fun for you two to be able to check that out. But the Ironman 1 arrival, it's just a pretty typical RNAV arrival, I believe, and we're coming from the Burgle transition, and it's basically just going to be stepping us down through all of these different waypoints. So we got Do It, then there's Crowie, which has this says it has a speed restriction of between 230 and 270, and also they want you between 26,000 and 29,000, so I'm okay with that being 290 or below. We've got Muppet, that's at 280 on the speed, 230 to 270. It's funny, this would be a good question if anyone knows this. How come Muppet, it shows you both the lower and upper limits for the altitude, but Crowley only shows you to be below? Is it because it knows you're not gonna be that low, or is that something the 737 does? I don't know, but I'm not worried about that. And then MDOTs, that looks good, and then we've got Gripper, which is also where we could do a hold if we needed to, right around there, I think, although this is showing a different one. This is actually probably showing us the hold that we would do in the event of a missed approach, is my guess. We got biking, which we need that altitude, and then run between 14 and 17,000 feet, and then Ironman, the namesake. So again, this says between 16,000 and 12,000. I'm not going to worry about it. And then for landing on LAX, I'm going to go Simon between 12,000. This actually says 12,000 and 13,000. So I'm actually going to try and change that. And this could be because I am looking at the Ironman 2 arrival, which is the newer version. This has the Ironman 1 setup. But we'll try and kind of update it to match. So it's going to be, let's see if this works, 13,000 below. And then it says 12,000 above. That's Simon. And invalid entry. Alright, well, guess we can't do that. If anybody knows, let's see, 13,000 below, 12,000 above. Oh, I think I need this. Did I put the slash in? Let's try that again. 13,000 below, 12,000 above. No, not meant to be. That's alright. I'm sure I'm doing something stupid, but we'll just leave it. We got base at or above 9,000 and 240 knots. And we got juice to 8,000 above, 9,000 below. Then we got Cliffy between 7 and 8,000 and 210. That looks good. Darger, which is 6,000 and 210. Gato at 6,000 and 210. And then we should expect vectors onto the ILS for 24 left. And I'm just going to pull that up as well. So ILS 24 left, let's just check that's the runway I had set up. Yep, 24 left. So we can set our ILS up, so that's going to be 111 point, oops. Come on, 111.7 is the frequency. I'll put that in both boxes. And then our course is going to be 251. Cool. And it looks like this is taking us from Gagado to Balby. And I'm just seeing if Balby's pretty late on the ILS. It's fine. I think it's looks like about, that'll put us on a 14-mile final at or above 4,000. So that should be fine. That'll actually work kind of nice. We'll get a nice turn from our point where Gatto spits us out. You can actually look at that in our legs page. Looks like we're coming up on our top of climb too, which is good. Let's just go to our plan here and zoom ourselves in. So you can actually see Gatto there, and what would probably happen in reality is we would, let's just go back a page, so step through, there's Gatto, then bow beam is actually kind of up from there, so you can kind of see that. And that's probably not a great kind of angle for making a turn, so I think what we'll do is we'll wait till we're kind of a beam, and maybe we'll vector ourselves a little bit to the left, and then we'll do kind of a sort of right angle turns to get ourselves on sort of a 40-ish degree vector to final, because it's about, what's that, about 5 mile kind of spacing. So we should be able to actually do that. I think a 5 mile turn is pretty doable. So that is all we really need to worry about for now. I'm gonna put ourselves back on the map there. Looks like we're just about to hit our top of climb. Only items we really need to do at our cruise is make sure we set our descent altitude. I'll actually do that when we're a little bit closer. Gotta watch out for traffic like this guy who's blitzing by us. But yeah, not much is really going to happen now until we get to our top of descent point, which you can see is not for a while. We're going to actually begin our approach here, probably in a few minutes. So I'll probably rejoin when we're at the top of descent, and we will take it from there. Alright guys, welcome back. We are getting close to our top of descent. It's expected in about 4 minutes time. Right now, if we look at our map, we are just to the northeast of San Luis Obispo, which is in kind of the central coast of California. So coming into the kind of Southern California area, some mountains and things like that. I was able to actually figure out how to add our approach chart, so the Ironman 2/1 arrival, to Avatab, so that's pretty cool, so you can see all the different points. So I think we've just crossed Burgle, and now we are heading to Duet. And then our top of descent will happen a little bit after that, but before Crowy, because we need to be below 290. So things are looking good. That's about all I did while we were gone. Took a quick look at the approach again. And we could go ahead and do our descent announcement. Make sure people know that we're gonna be going down, gotta use the restroom, all that good stuff. But we are coming up to do it here in about 2 minutes, and then top of descent, I think a few minutes after that, so about a minute after. So I'm going to zoom ourselves in a little bit here. So I'm going to bug our heading up here in case we need to give ourselves a heading. Cool. Oops, 251. Cool. Alright, see our power is starting to come back. I think that's because it's realizing it's time to descend. It's funny, our top of descent is actually not for another few miles, but I guess I think what happens is the plane likes to slow down and then go down. So I'm guessing that's what's happening now. We're slowing down to 250, and then we'll probably see a descent coming here shortly. I hope. Or maybe the plane's just being weird. It decided it wanted to decelerate. Let's see. Oh, you know why? It's because we have some speed restrictions. Aha. So that's why that just happened. Alright, so we've got our turn coming in here. Alright. Got some rogue traffic above us. The one thing I don't like about the default traffic in X-Plane is it's just ridiculously unpredictable. Right now you can see this aircraft looks like it's fine. It's 3,000 feet ahead above us. but I've seen them they'll just drop out the sky and suddenly you have a traffic situation that you have to sort out. So I should probably invest in some real world traffic or something like that. I think that would be kind of cool. Alright, but our top of descent point is upon us, which means we can go ahead and start some of our descent procedures. So I'm going to go ahead and then I always forget to do this. Engine start switches to continuous. And got a nice descent going here now. Engines are almost idling, not quite. And we can see the mountains in front of us as we're coming in. Let's see where we are on this map. Just a little bit close to Santa Maria now. These airports have sentimental value for me. I learned to fly in real life. I only fly a small Cessna in real life. I don't fly a big plane like this, and it's for fun. But I learned to fly down here in Camarillo, California. You can see the airport actually on this map, which is pretty cool, right there. But as part of your training, you have to do a what's called a long cross country. So you have to fly to an airport that's at least, I think, 100 miles away. And they have to make a stop on the way back. Or in my case, that's what I had to do. Drag required. Let's just put our speed brakes up. So I flew from Camarillo all the way up to San Luis Obispo. And I also made a stop, I think, in Santa Maria on the way back. So that was a pretty fun flight. Took about half a day to get all the way up there and then fly back. And but it's to teach you how to navigate and how to kind of do all the things you have to do in the real world when you're a pilot. So that was good fun. But back to the task at hand, we looks like are crossing Crowe, and next up is going to be Muppet, where we need to be above 230. So I'll set that here. You just kind of have to watch these altitudes as you're going down. It's a little easy to lose track of what you're doing, where you're at. These mountains look sick, though. Check that out. Whoa. So I think this is because I did get some ortho scenery set up in this region. You can actually see, I think this is where the border of one of the regions is that I did. I think I did kind of the LA area, and you can kind of see the rift goes along here, and then I think probably cuts off somewhere else. But that ortho scenery is so cool. I love how you generate that. There's a lot of good tutorials out there if you're wondering how to set that up on your sim. Highly recommend checking those out. Alright, so we've got Muppet, and it's going to be M-dots. Should be at 2,000. Looks like we're not going to hit 230 before Muppet, so I'll go ahead and just set 200. Keep a nice continuous descent going. We're just kind of continuing, and there's a second page when we get to Iron Man. It's actually cool. They use the same first page of the approach for multiple airports. So you can use this for landing at LAX, but you can also use it for landing at Hawthorne, which is a kind of a smaller airport on the approach to LAX. We might see it as we're flying in. I've also flown a Cessna into that airport, into Hawthorne, which is pretty fun. It's kind of cool because you're like right by the plane's landing going into LAX. So you have to be really careful with the airspace and making sure you're in the right place and talking to the right people. But assuming you do all that right, it's definitely a fun flight to do. but yeah, it looks like they use the same chart. So you have different, well, I guess it's the same. Sometimes you'll see here they'll have like different airports listed with different descriptions, but it looks like for both LAX and Hawthorne, they would just give you vectors to your final approach once you get to Gatto. So let's go back to the other page. Alright, so where are we at? We've crossed Muppet, or MDOTS, which had a 2,000. Now we're going to Gripper and 19,000, so I'll keep that in there. And you can tell, you know, they know how planes like to descend and all that good stuff. When they were building these approaches, because they're just nicely spaced waypoints with different altitude restrictions. So we should, I don't think we need the drag anymore, so I'll set that back. We'll be going through 18,000 feet shortly, and that will mean we need to know what the nearest altimeter setting is. And normally you would be given that. So why don't we dial up Camarillo and the ATIS there to figure out what that's going to be. And I'm going to cheat. I should probably know this after flying there so much. But let's see, KCMA, I think it's... Try and do this relatively quickly. See, we're going over there. We can set that to 16,000 feet. So 126.25 sounds familiar. So I will set that here. And let's see if we can pick that up and get our altimeter setting. Guess not. Did I set it right? 126.25. Well, that's a bummer. Might just not be close enough, so we'll see if we can pick it up. Else I'll cheat and look at what LAX is going to be. Right, let's see. Well, we're below 18,000, so I'm just going to cheat, and I'm going to actually just grab the LAX METAR. Looks like it's 3016, so we'll go ahead and punch that in. And we won't have to think about it later that way, so that's good. Alright, turn off our standard there, set that to 3016. Looks like we're still working our way down. We can set 14,000 now. And we're going a little fast. Should be really at 240 knots. So I'm just gonna put my speed brakes out there. And what was I doing? Oh yeah, I was setting this to this is our backup artificial horizon. There we go, 3016. Cool. Alright, so let's get our chart back. So where are we at? We're now at running. Gonna be going to Ironman next. Looks like 12,000. No issue with the altitude there, so I'll go ahead and set that. So 12,000 is the minimum for Ironman according to the new chart. I think the old chart maybe didn't have that same restriction. So after Ironman, it's going to be Simon and Based. I got my seatbelt sign on. We're about 15,000. Yeah, let's go ahead and turn that guy on. All right. Oh, I can turn my engine anti-ice off. Don't think we really need that. Cool. So still working our way down. Get ourselves zoomed in a little bit. Alright, so there is Iron Man. I will go ahead and put in... Simon is 12,000. I'm actually going to leave us on 12,000 there. Even though this is between 11 and 13,000, you can see. Go here, it's between 12 and 13. So we'll pretend... We'll probably cheat. I'm actually going to set it now to based, which is 9,000 above, because I know we're not going to hit 11,000. Cool, so that'll actually just put us right at 9,000 right as we're crossing, which is cool. Yeah. Let's take a look over my old digs. That's Camarillo Airport right there. I used to live here in Thousand Oaks. Fly through these mountains. There's all sorts of fun stuff over here. 101 freeway. And I would literally sit in my house, which was backing up onto these mountains. Sorry, you might not be able to hear me in there. But I used to sit in and be able to see the planes which were going on this arrival. So this is a really cool flight to do. Alright, so we've got our turn going, coming down to 9,000. You can see the LA Basin here. LAX is just about there, I think. So we've got Based, and then we got Juice, Cliffy, all the way in to LAX. Yeah, this is the missed approach hold that they have set up. So coming over, this is like the Malibu area. Which is cool. Get my get that turned off. There we go. So I think I didn't actually set this properly because this should say 240. I don't want to do that. Let's go back. How do I get out of there? Legs. No. Clear. Cancel. How do I cancel? Help. No, I've messed it up. What was based 9,000 above, but it should be 240/9,000. Alright, there we go. Oops, no, I messed that one up. Well, that's fine. We can just do /8,000. Oh yeah, now our speed's coming down. That's good. There we go.
1,000 to go.
Alright, so based coming up. We can go ahead and put in our next notch, or our next setting rather. We probably should start thinking about some flaps. I'll wait till we're a little slower. But you can see we're now making that turn inbound. And I always like to just verify at this point my ILS frequency. So here's the ILS approach. So 111.7. Got that in both boxes. And then 251 is the course.
1,000 to go.
That looks good. Alright, then we're going to Cliffy. Looks like 7,000 is the restriction. We're going to cross here right at 8,000, so I'll keep that coming down. And we are picking up the IHQB localizer at LAX. Flying over, almost over the Hollywood sign. I think that would be somewhere in these mountains here. This is sort of the the Burbank Mountains. Burbank Airport is somewhere over here. I don't think they model the Hollywood sign, unfortunately. It's right on this ridge. We'll see as we fly by.
1,000 to go.
You never know. As you can see, I don't know if you can see Hawthorne Airport. I'm going to try and point it out as we fly by it. Here's LAX. So Hawthorne should be somewhere around here, but I think it might be getting lost in the noise. It's also not a huge airport. It's going to be kind of hard to see. Alright, this is 7,000 at Cliffy. We'll go ahead and keep ourselves coming down to 6,000. Get our heading bugged up here. Now we're slowing ourselves. Get our drag. And I'll go ahead and put flaps 5 in. Should probably check what our landing speed is. It's going to be, we'll do a flaps, I don't know, flaps 30 landing, 149. Sounds good. Alright. Speed's coming down nicely now. And there's 6,000. We're actually going to hit that before our point. Just a little bit. It's probably because I've got my speed brakes out. Let's see if that's... yeah, that's a little bit better. And then we're at Gatto, which we need to be... altitude was, let's see, 6,000. Excuse me. Alright. So we'll just stick around at 6,000 now, and then crossing Gatto, next is going to be Bowie. So we're going to be at 4,000 or greater. And I'm just going to zoom us out. So there's Bowie. So I think what I'll do is I'll go and descend as we get near Bowie. And actually, let's just go ahead and put... we'll go ahead and put 4,000 in. There's no real issue with like obstructions or anything. There we go. It's 4,000. And come on, descend, please. I think it's not going to do it. Is it not going to do it till after I cross Gatto? I think that's the issue. Then we should be fine. Let's see. Here's Gatto. Are you going to descend for me, please? Let's try it again. Well, alright, guess we're gonna do a vertical speed. Hate it when that happens, it's so weird. You're probably all yelling at your computer saying, you did this wrong! It's alright. Alright, let's go ahead and do flaps 10. That's a nice kind of drag-inducing flap setting. Should help us keep our speed in the right spot. So I think, again, I'm going to kind of wait till we're a beam Bowie, and then I'm going to try and get a turn into Bowie, and hoping that this is enough separation to kind of give us that turn without needing to go off to the left. We shall see. And we'll be looking for a final speed of about 149. Probably a little slow now, really, but that's alright. It'll help us with our turn. So you can see the vertical speed, the glide slope coming in there, which is good. Should see that kind of rise above our line here. Should be our indication that we're in the right sort of position. You can see the Burbank kind of area there behind the mountains, freeways. Can we see the Hollywood sign? I don't know. Nope. That's I think that's that's meant to be downtown Los Angeles. Oh dear. Alright, so let's get ourselves situated here. So we're just past Balby now. So I'm gonna go ahead and do a turn to gonna do an initial turn to 160. I'm gonna throw myself into kind of a direct to mode here. Ah, gosh, I'm breaking this. Come on. There we go. That's what we wanted. Let's execute that. Hopefully. There we go. Cool. Got our nice turn. And then I will do a second turn. This is actually really good spacing for lining up. All right. All right, and then let's get our secondary turn in. Doing it a little late, but basically I want to kind of intercept that. So I think 200 should be fine for the heading. Just gives us a nice kind of angle. And I'm going to go ahead and put in flaps 15. Sweet. Just going to put that a little bit faster. And let's get our approach armed. So you can see our glide slope coming in. Hopefully, there we go. There's our horizontal guidance. And there is our turn coming in to capture. And let's see how well I did. If it overshoots, I think it's gonna do okay. Let's get my heading bugged up there. Oh, that's not too bad. Just a little overshoot, about half a dot, quarter dot. That's all right. All right. So we'll just check our before landing checklist. So gonna set our speed brakes to 2, or sorry, our auto brake. And our landing gear we'll put down. We can put it down now. Speed brake is armed. And I'll get our landing lights on, which I should have done a long time ago, and our turn off lights. Cool, continuous, everything else looks good there. Gotta keep my speed kind of here for now until we're a little bit closer. Looks like we are on about a 12-mile final. Again, we'll be looking for 149 as our touchdown speed. Oh, and the weather has improved dramatically as we flew in. You can see the airport now in front of us, which is good. It's funny, we didn't get the weather, and I guess maybe we're not gonna get the weather. Let's just look up the see if I can do this before we touch down. Should got the ATIS. Let's see. 13565. Let's see if that's gonna cooperate. 35. 65.
Los
There we go.
Angeles INTL information Sierra.
Altimeter 3016 and light
and
wind.
variable.
500.
Cool. Is that what we had? Yeah, it is. So I think Hawthorne Airport is somewhere right around here. Might be up over there. Yeah, I think it's over in here somewhere. Anyway, let's go ahead and start slowing down. Gonna go back to 160. And I'll go ahead and put our final flap setting in. Flaps 30. And I'm gonna attempt a landing. Hopefully I don't mess it up too much. We've got a missed approach altitude set in there, which may or may not be correct. Again, these are all things you would do well before you got to this point in a flight. Missed approach procedure says to climb to 2,000, so we could actually just set that to be 2,000. Got our heading set nicely, 251. Looking good. Confirming gear down. That's set. Speed brakes are set. Auto brake is set. Got my trim coming in, I can feel. And you'll notice me kind of messing with the throttle as we disconnect the autopilot here.
1,000 feet stabilized, Mr. Approach altitude set.
So I think I'll disconnect around, I don't know. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do, guys? 800 feet, 700? I'll wait till 700. I don't know what the minimum is on here. I think it's 323 feet. Does that sound right? Coming down. We'll disconnect at 600. How about that? Alright, here comes 600. That's disconnected. Still gonna... Oh, what are you doing to me? I don't know what that was. Decided it wanted to go around. Jeez. Alright. Bring our speed back. I'm making a terrible mess of this because I got distracted. Alright, let's get ourselves back. There we go. Bring our speed back. Really should have had our final speeds in.
200.
Yeah, I'm not gonna sink. Don't worry. Yeah. Alright, coming in. Shush.
50.
Alright.
40. 30.
Whatever.
20. 10.
Alright, power to idle. Hold her off. Ah. Acceptable landing. Jeez. Oh well, we tried. We did our best. Ooh, let's get a reverse thrust in there. Got a little distracted there at the end, but that's okay. We made it down safe. A little bit of a hard landing. Alright. We can apply a little bit more kind of firm braking here. We made it, guys. Welcome to LAX. Alright. So speed brakes can come up, flaps can start coming up. Get our landing lights off, turn our taxi light on, keep the turn coming here, turn our probe heat off, keep our turn coming. Alright, can put our trim back to 4 or 5. There we go. Go ahead and start our APU up. Not sure why we've got a master caution there. If you can guess why, feel free to tell me. Happy to hear it. I'm gonna go back to roughly where I think Delta's gates are. We might actually be on the wrong side of the airport for that, but that's okay. We'll go for a short taxi. This isn't probably the most exciting part of the flight. Got our position light on steady. Should have been strobe and steady the whole time, but that's alright. Alright. So our APU coming on. Yep, it is. But why do I have a master caution? I don't know what happened there at the end either with the the throttle applying itself. Might be because I had the speed kind of set higher. I don't know what was going on, but that's alright. Alright, got our AP. We can switch to that. And we could actually go ahead and cut off one of our engines, save some fuel. It's our number 2 engine. Our AP work and AP bleed can come on. And we'll kind of taxi our way around here. And I'm just gonna park next to the Virgin America planes, because why not? Can't actually remember what terminal Delta. I think this is the right side of the airport for Delta, but I could be wrong. It's been a while since I flew into LAX, so it's a little hard to recall. Alright, let's go ahead and turn here then. Looks like we've got an empty stand right in front of us. Could go ahead and use that one. Perhaps can get myself lined up. Here we go. Stand 34. Ooh, it's kind of a weird turn. Oh, okay, I think it wants us to go into here. Got a little guy with a set of, oh, that's pretty cool. It actually directs us into the gate here. Yeah, see if we can get ourselves in the right spot. Here he comes. Let's try not to scare him. Oh, come on, a little further. Ooh, I think that's good. Alright, good enough. Alright, we have made it. We'll just go through our parking procedure. Parking brake is set. AP bleed is already on. AP generator is on. We'll turn our fasten seatbelt sign off. And then we can cut off our other engine. Can put our transponder to standby. I think I should have changed that already. Alright, exterior lights can all come off. Off you go. Alright, and our fuel pumps we can turn off. We can turn our APU off once we've got ground power. Alright, that goes our APU, AP bleed, these guys can come off. Electric hydraulic pumps can come off. Engine hydraulic pumps can come off. Recirc fans can come off. Flight directors can also come off. Peace and quiet. Auto brake is already off. APU is off. APU bleeds off. Engine bleeds off. And then I guess we could do the secure procedure. If anyone wants to see it, feel free to stick around for this. Riveting stuff, I know. Alright, cab util power would come off. We turn our IFE power off. We'd turn off our emergency exit lights. Whoops, if I could reach. Nope, nope. There you go. And our packs, we would turn off. Our IRS switches we would turn off. And we turn our yaw damper off. And our engine start switches we would put back to auto. Trim air would come off. Ground power would actually come off at this point, although let me see. Should probably terminate the flight leg. And I'm gonna gauge. Can I open the doors? Oh, I can. Hey, hey. Got no jet bridge, but we'll imagine we do. Hey, look at that. And we could actually cheat and put our air stairs out if nobody's gonna come service the plane. There we go. People can at least get off. But then last things we would do, ground power would come off and our standby power would be turned off. And our battery would be off. That's how you do it. Hope you enjoyed this relatively long video. Do leave me a comment with things you'd like to see, routes you'd like to see me do, anything I did wrong, which I am sure I did. So have at it, let me know. But hopefully you found this enjoyable, and we will see you in the next one. Have a good one, guys.